Well, it does appear as though the reports were endless, but that's what we'll be talking about today on Sunrise Daily. We're joined now by the chairman of APC in Edo State, Anslem Ojezua. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
We're looking at those reports. I mean, it certainly raises a lot of concern about what is happening in Edo State. Yes. And there are those who wonder, when did this all start? What is the true story? What's going on there?
Well, it's not a very complex situation if you really understand, the politics of our state. What is playing out there is the fact that there are some individuals who feel that everybody must pander according to their whims and caprices. And that if things don't go their way, then everything must be, disrupted. What is happening there is the fact that the governor is the target. You want to use the House of Assembly as a tool to impeach the governor. To do this, you must have a majority of 2/3. And by the first step, they go and purchase about 4 or 5 members, hoping that that will give them some leverage. And somewhere along the line, that plot was uncovered, it was aborted, and therefore failed. And now that the plot has failed, we now resort to violence. Nothing more, nothing less. But otherwise, the House has been there since 2011. They have had no issues. We had a clear and comfortable majority in the House. There were no issues, not even amongst themselves, neither with the legislature and the executive. So where did this come from?
Yeah, but you make it sound as if...
As some individuals visited Mr. President in Abuja and came back, then the stage was set for what is playing out today.
When was this visit?
That was just sometime around April or May. I think it was April or May, late April or early May.
Was it?
After the congresses. The congresses leading to the establishment of the structures of the APC in
No, but before
state.
that time, there were lots of reports about dissatisfaction within the rank and file of the APC in the state, where members were...
The issues arose out of the congresses. We had no problems until the congresses. And before the congresses, you see, the issue is that when APC was registered, and before the structures were established, there was this transition. During the transition period, people began to organize groups around themselves, evidently to propagate their own aspirations. For instance, those who wanted to be governor, they felt it was better for them to organize groups. And so you now had a situation in Edo State where you had a number of groups, perhaps 2 prevalent groups. And we noticed that as a leadership. I remember at that time, we had a state leaders meeting where we tried to discourage that idea because we could see that the seed of factionalization was already being sown. But of course, they didn't...
this is factionalization within the APC.
Within the APC. Mm-hmm. And so, when it was time for congresses, the governor appealed to the leadership that, look, if we were to go into a clear contest, it would mean that that group that takes chairman will take everything because they will have superior numbers within the Congress. And therefore, he advised that we should take advantage of the provision in the constitution of the party that allows for consensus. And that if we do consensus, all the groups can nominate people into the executives, and then we will all have a stake in it and have one strong, and viral party. A majority of the leadership agreed, but others refused, particularly in the Edo South area, which is the Benin area. They said, no, it must be Congress. They went for Congress. Of course, what the governor predicted happened. One group took the day. And then there were issues. Without investigation, the party decided that the congresses be repeated. This time around, the congresses that were repeated were actually recorded, just so that people can see exactly what happened. They repeated the congresses. The result was the same. one group, the dominant group, will take everything. And the other group that, you know, lost out, took it out on the governor. The governor is not from Edo South. He didn't participate in the Congress. What was his offense? And it was what he foresaw that eventually happened. In any case, they were dissatisfied. They left the party, and that was when they visited the president. I don't know what they discussed with the president, but from what I can now see, it seems to me that they must have told him that they were the ones who put Oshiomhole in power, and they will be the ones who will remove him. They may have even gone as far as to tell him that they control the House of Assembly, and that they can even remove him before his tenure is over.
Isn't that correct?
It is not correct, as you can see. It is not correct.
But I'm sure it's good to see you from Edo State, and
Yes.
You must have had a word on the street and even in some, especially online publication. And we had Pastor Ezeyamu here, and he also alluded to the fact how much of effort they put in to make sure that the governor wins that particular election.
Oh, there's no doubt at all in my mind that Pastor Ezeyamu played a very formidable role. That is not in doubt.
So when we, I'm coming, when the visitors, no, I'm coming.
I'm coming now. Let me answer your question. You see, in my over 30 years in politics, I have come to find out that there is no one tree that can make a forest. What you find is that the collective effort of everybody is credited to an individual, perhaps because it's the most visible. But it doesn't make it a fact. So what is happening now is that if we proceed from that fact, you are going to find out that at the end of the electoral process, somebody has put his own the myth, you know, to test. We have seen it several times in the past, where people who are perceived to be very formidable and so on, they later find out that it is not true.
You know, I'm getting somewhere, because the whole essence of this talk, of this discussion, is to see that peace returns to Edo State as it is now. You say it started with those from the southern part of Edo State.
That is the build-up.
That's the build-up. But now you see it has snowballed into the northern part of Edo State to the extent we're talking about people that have been accused, names like Razak Momo being attacked, names like Philip Schreiber also, you know, named as those who have attacked him, and now you're getting to see that the assembly, quarters has also been attacked.
The case of Razak Momo should be put in perspective. Razak Momo's case
is not linked
did
to
not
this.
stem from this scenario. No. It predated it. Razak's case arose when these local government elections were being conducted.
But he was with the APC.
And Razak, he was with the APC.
Before he decamped to the PDP.
Razak, who was sponsored by the party to the House of Assembly, all of a sudden now decided that he must be the person to choose the chairman of the council. And in trying to propagate that, because of his background with his relationship with one of these groups, he now organized a group of armed band to go and attack people. He was arrested by the police, found in possession with firearms, and the fact was detained over a long time. The matter is in court, it's on trial. That's different, completely different from what you see here now. Now, arising from his departure from the party, Razak went to the High Court in Auchi to file a matter asking the court to stop the speaker from declaring his seat vacant. That was an individual case. Of course, the High Court will refuse jurisdiction, because jurisdiction for that is with the Federal High Court. Of course, when the case was thrown out, the speaker declared the seat vacant, because the Constitution says so. So that's a different issue altogether. And if that happens, what you will expect from Razak, an honorable member of the House of Assembly, is to comply with the order of the speaker and contest it in court. At least he had the presence of mind to go to court in the first place, albeit the wrong court. He can still
You know,
you can still go to the White Court.
You started by saying that they were in Abuja, and well, you also accused some of those who went to Abuja that the whole essence of that particular meeting was to impeach the governor.
I didn't say that the essence of that meeting was to impeach the governor.
No, what did you
I
say?
said what is playing out in Edo State now is an attempt by some people to use the House of Assembly. And I told you, I said, I do not know what was discussed at the meeting with the president. I said they may have told the president.
No, you also said,
and they are not trying to
said people were bought. You also said that monies were given out.
Monies?
You said people were, you used the word bought.
Yes, by their own admission. By their own admission, we had figures like 50 million, 70 million.
When did they admit that?
Oh, Razak Bomo was reported to have come to the premises of the House of Assembly quarters and brandished dollars, to tell his fellow colleagues that, look, you can be as lucky as this. He is said to have bought about 4 cars in one day, all of a sudden. But and when you try to recruit people, you must make them offers.
Was it true?
I have members in my party who are in the House of Assembly who were approached.
Did you, when you investigated, was it true?
I am telling you what I was told by those who were approached.
But you believed it?
Oh, certainly. Initially we say if the witch cries at night and a baby dies in the morning, do I need to ask who killed it?
Is that not a similar thing that happened before the Edo State House of Assembly, the crisis, and then they moved their sitting venue? Because the governor spoke up before that time about some of these matters.
The similar thing like how?
In the sense that when the governor spoke that some persons were trying to be used to impeach him, then the next day, not the next day, but thereafter, you had this fight in the Edo State House of Assembly.
No. The governor's statement is the same statement that I am making. The governor was responding to the actions of some people in the House of Assembly. And he believed, as I also do, that these people are just pawns in the hands of some unseen elements who had, perhaps in their illusion, believed that it could just be an easy thing. All we have to do is pay the right amount. As you can see, that failed.
But their argument is also that the cases were still in court. And then the speaker, as you said, went ahead, declared the seat vacant. And
no,
they find it.
No, that is not correct.
But you heard the members
case,
of the
I will tell you
PDP
now,
said that the cases are still in court.
The cases are in court. 3 or 4 members who, after Razak, who also decamped to PDP, even before they decamped, went to court. This time, they went to the Federal High Court, seeking 2 reliefs. One was to restrain the Speaker from declaring their seats vacant should they decide to leave APC. The second relief was asking the court to restrain the House of Assembly from suspending them from sitting with their colleagues. The court ruled, granted their first relief, and restrained Mr. Speaker from declaring their seats vacant, but refused the second, that the court cannot interfere in the internal mechanisms of the House in carrying out its powers, its disciplinary powers.
To declare.
And therefore, when the House of Assembly...
what was its disciplinary powers?
The power to suspend. And the House had no fetters when they suspended those 4 members.